Hello and welcome. On December 7, the Republic of Ghana will elect a new democratically elected president for the Gold Coast. The country prepared for what promised to be a highly contested election season. The Electoral Commission of Ghana lists 27 registered political parties. However, the two major political parties, NPP, which has the sitting vice president in the person of Muhammadu Boamah as its candidate, and the NDC, National Democratic Congress, which has the former president John Dramani Mahama as its candidate. Welcome to the New Frontier Africa. From Cabs World TV studio in Washington, D.C., I am Abdulrasheed Abubakar. While countries like United Kingdom, Canada, and the United States of America have pledged to restrict immigration from African countries, the Ghanaian presidency, led by President Nana Akufo-Addo, recently swore an oath of allegiance and granted citizenship to over 500 African diaspora community members. To help me better navigate Ghana's political future, I am joined by Dr. Peter Boamah Otokunor, former Doctor, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Abdul.
Let's dive into our today's conversation. What are the most pressing issues for voters as we approach the 2024 general election in Ghana?
First of all, the Ghanaian people, as any country, are concerned about the economy, their livelihoods, their living standards, the quality of life. And the quality of life as it pertains in Ghana, which has its roots in the economy, would be the key issues that the ordinary Ghanaian would be voting on. They will be looking at the general price levels, which has become unprecedentedly high, particularly for food and for other grocery items, and the fact that the exchange rate has been on the roofs, which has made it very difficult to do business because most of the businesses in Ghana also thrives on forex and international trade. And so the depreciation of our local currency, the Ghana cedi, has been one of the biggest burden of the ordinary citizen, particularly businesses, which are struggling. Then beyond that, the high levels of unemployment. And so there is unprecedented level of unemployment in the country. Recent statistics put it at some 15% of unemployment rate. And there are even other statistics that gives you even a higher revelation. And there are other statistical data from the Ghana Statistical Service, which also reveals that almost 2 million young Ghanaians are idle. They have no job to do, they have no trade to ply, and they learn no trade, and they are neither in school. And so they are completely idle. They sit down morning till even do nothing. And again, the statistics also show that some 8 million Ghanaians within this year have gone without food throughout the day, which means that they applied on the formula 000. So no breakfast, no lunch, no dinner. And so it's a very precarious situation in Ghana, and Ghanaians are fed up. Ghanaians are tired. There is general difficulty. There's general hardship. And there's an insensitive and inconsiderate government also in the helm of affairs. And so those are the key issues that would be deciding the elections. But beyond these issues would be healthcare, would be education, and a few others like transport and energy. We have gone back into the energy crisis. His Excellency President Mahama, when he was the president, introduced some over 4,000 megawatts of energy to our energy generation capacity, which had been abandoned for almost 2 decades without a single megawatt of energy generation capacity added. And that got us to move into excess generation capacity from 2016 upwards. But unfortunately, for the opportunities that the deficit or the excess generation capacity offered for the economy, which allowed foreign direct investments to grow, our friends in government right now have completely abandoned the sector, and they have left it unattended to, which has led to another deficit. As we speak, there's a huge energy debt that is not allowing even the independent power producers to produce energy to supply. And we have gone back to what we call in our local parlance doomsaw, where the light goes off indiscriminately, without any formula, without any calendar, without any timetable. The light goes off at any time, and even as we are speaking, the light could go off at any time. These are things that are going to drive the decision in the elections. We also have the cost of education also going high, particularly tertiary education. In Ghana, in our laws, we have stipulated in our law that we work towards free education at all levels. Indeed, the NDC government under President Rawlings started the free basic education, a compulsory basic education, which we dubbed the F, which allow children to go from KG to junior high school for free. Then under President Mahama, he introduced the free senior high school. But because it was progressively introduced as a result of lack of infrastructure, our friends in government currently just added the boarding students to the free senior secondary school. And it has now become a very topical issue because they claim because they added the borders, it has become their significant legacy. And they hope to ride on that for the campaign. But sincerely, because they lack legacy, they lack any achievement. This is a legacy of President Mahama, which they want to ride on. But this campaign has been fraught with a lot of deceptive campaign, and the ruling government has been going around saying the President Mahama administration would cancel the free education. I don't know where they are getting that, but I mean, these are some of the deceptions that they are putting across, which the Ghanaian people are rejecting heavily, because indeed the one who started the free senior high school education in Ghana cannot cancel it. All that he has said is that because of lack of investment in infrastructure, we are having the students overflow in the schools, and they have had to run a double track system, which double track system have put them into an academic traffic light. Some go red, some go green, some go yellow. And so the students go to school 1 month, they come and stay home 3 months. And you know, obviously this will not be healthy for the students. And so when they go to school, they learn, they stay home 3 months and everything. And so President Mahama has made a very strong commitment to collapsing this double track system, but most importantly, extend the free senior high school to even cover private senior high school, and even look beyond that and go to the tertiary level, where we are looking at the no fee stress policy, a policy that will help those who gain admission into universities and nursing training colleges and teacher training colleges to have a free admission fee taken care of, then the subsequent years taken care of by a more advanced and robust student loan system. And so these are things that are driving the campaign. But as I said, the key one is the prices of commodities, and particularly food prices. Food prices went on the roofs last year. It peaked at 61%, the highest in about 4 to 5 decades. We have never had that level of food price hikes in the country. But the current
Dr. Peter, price level. So how do you assess the political climate in Ghana leading up to this election, especially in terms of public trust in political parties?
Well, due to the legendary title that this government has attained as a very deceptive government, the populace have lost trust in the politicians, and it is very difficult to claw back that integrity that politicians used to have in this country, because this government, led by the current flag bearer, who is a sitting vice president, has been adjudged one of the most lying governments ever in the history of this country. And it will surprise you that when you even search on Google, the greatest liar in Ghana, it is the name of the vice president that comes up. And he is the president, he is the flag bearer hoping to be the leader of this country. And so it has made the environment very tensive and rather more, if you want, skeptic for voters. But again, the good news is that President Mahama, being a former president, and the people having experienced the kind of leadership that he brought to bear, leadership of integrity, honesty, and being trustworthy, has become one of our biggest trump cards. And the people have confidence in the honesty that he displayed in his leadership when he was president. President Mahama will tell you as it is, and he will let you know how he's fixing it. Unfortunately, this government does everything shrouded in secrecy. And as you may also be aware, this government has been one of the most corrupt governments ever in the history of this country. And so corruption has become one of the key things that is worrying Ghanaians. In fact, everywhere you go, even within their own party, they have decried the humongous levels of corruption in the party. Some of their party apparatchiks, party leaders, have jumped ship because of the level of corruption involved in by the flag bearer, who is the vice president, and the president himself, and their family members and their cronies. And so these are things that the Ghanaian feel very passionate about, and it makes our elections a little bit more on the brinks, because the ordinary Ghanaian is worried that if the MPP government is left in office even a second, we would have no country to call our home, because then they would have stolen and ripped the nation of its resources. We call it state capture here. And so our friends have just on a wild chase for state capture, and they have just been ripping the nation of all the resources of the state. Then, most importantly, the lack of integrity in the governance architecture, and how this government has bastardized every independent state institution. The judiciary seems bastardized, the police service bastardized, the electoral commission bastardized, because the government has over-politicized all these institutions. So you have party activists being put of affairs at the judicial level. You have party activists being put at the electoral commission, party activists controlling the security agencies, and it has become so precarious that nobody even have confidence in these independent states of institutions. And so in these elections, you would hear the popular refrain from the streets that, look, this election, the NDC should be its own electoral commission. It should be their own judiciary and be their own security, because there's no independent judiciary and security in the country.
All right. Thank you so much for that brilliant response. So what role do you think Ghana's youth will play in determining the outcome of the election?
Well, there is a Ghanaian youth that are actually deciding these elections, and I believe that they have made their minds already. And that is why you see mass actions of young people on the streets everywhere, calling for change, demanding for change. The youth of this country are tired. They feel hopeless. They feel dejected. They have nowhere to turn to. They have been jobless for a long while. And in cases where they even have jobs, their salaries means nothing to them. And so it's the youth that are going to decide, because this election is about the future. And as most of them on social media, they consider this election as a second independence battle for Ghana. And they believe that if they do not independence, they do not change, they do not get victory, then it means that the country would be gone forever. They would have lost it to domestic colonial masters, and that is one thing that motivates the young people of this country to fight very hard to secure power from this bunch of inept, corrupt, incompetent government that is running the affairs of the state.
Thank you. So, looking at the outcome of the presidential election in the United States, what role, do you think with the rise of social media, how do you think the digital platforms are shaping political discourse and influencing voters' decision in the coming election in Ghana?
Interestingly, I would say that digital platforms would play a very significant role in this, because social media has become very well penetrated in our country, even in the villages where they struggle to get internet and power. They are all over social media, and I think the most prominent of them is the Facebook and TikTok, which our party and some other political parties are using mainly to send across their messages. But the youth also are taking advantage and creating their own political content and expressing their own kind of difficulties that they are facing in Ghana, and how they think that their difficulties could be mitigated or ameliorated. And so it has become a very critical tool for us, except that government have used all surreptitious means to de-emphasize the role of social media, but it's still working. There have been accusations against government of censorship, having to target some social media accounts of some popular or as it were, notable public figures and politicians, myself very much included. I feel that our accounts have been tampered with, and it's receiving low penetration. I'm sure you may know Franklin Kujo of Imani, Ghana, one of the foremost civil society organizations or governance institutions in Ghana. They have been speaking a lot, and their accounts have also, they have had the cause to complain about censorship, how they think their accounts is being tagged and so on and so forth. Then you have the case where the Electoral Commission and the government itself, in their bid to, operate in secrecy and operate under some cloud of darkness with lack of transparency, is preventing even the media from monitoring and reporting on the collation of results. I'm sure if you are following the news today, the most topical today is the announcement by the Electoral Commission that they are going to restrict media access to the collation centers where the results for the 2024 elections would be collected. And that one, we are going to resist that with any energy we can command, because we cannot, in 2024, the level of media pluralism in Ghana, allow the Electoral Commission and the government to, under the cover of conducting non-destructive collation processes, restrict media access, because it is only through this level of reportage from the media, a widespread reportage, that the Ghanaian people would build some modicum of confidence in the electoral process. Because as the statistics have shown, Ghanaians have lost confidence in the Electoral Commission, and less than 50% claim to have confidence in the work of the Electoral Commission. And we believe that is exceedingly worrying for an independent institution of state that is supposed to be an institution for democracy, integrity, and transparency. And the Electoral Commission in recent times have come under severe attack from even non-partisan advocates in the country, because they believe that the Electoral Commission have been overly partisan. Appointments at the Electoral Commission have been very partisan. the ruling government has controlled all the officers and the appointments that are made at the Electoral Commission, and their conduct have also given them away because they have not acted according to the rules and the laws of the country. They have not acted in an independent manner. They have only acted to meet the whims and caprices of the ruling government. And so that has been another major issue that we have had to grapple with. And so with the Electoral Commission restricting access, media access to collation centers, it has become one of our biggest problems that we have had to deal with. And so the Ghanaian people are resisting. The GJA have spoken. The Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association has spoken. Ghana Journalists Association have spoken. The journalists themselves are all over the place demanding that you cannot restrict media access to the collation centers. This is an unfettered right that they have to report the elections. And so we are ready for these elections. We have put the systems in place. We believe that any attempt by the MPP to rig this election will fall, and that it will not suffice. We believe that there are so many attempts that they have put in place, but we hope that none of them would succeed and see the light of day, and the true will of the people would suffice in this election.
Thank you so much. Before we round up this session, I would like to get your reaction to the recent election of the Commonwealth, which was successfully won by the current Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ghana. So this is going to be the first time, Ghanaian will be, holding the highest office of that nature at the Commonwealth. I just want to get your reaction on that.
Well, unfortunately, considering how corrupt this government is and how the foreign minister herself is embroiled in this this buffet of corruption, I am wondering the kind of integrity that she will bring to bear at the Commonwealth. But for me as a Ghanaian, it feels good that the Ghanaian is going there, only if they will leave the corruption behind and go and do the work diligently as is supposed to be expected of them. I think that is a very good one for our country. Then again, maybe we can share the pride in the fact that she is a woman and she is going to lead the Commonwealth. But we are just hoping. We are just hoping, because for what we know here and the kind of record that the MPP have exhibited, including herself, we are a bit very skeptical.
Peter, for this wonderful conversation. To wrap it up today, so just 5 to 10 seconds, what strategies should political parties employ to effectively address the concern of Ghanaians in this election cycle?
The people of Ghana just need a government that is sensitive to their plight, that is considerate, that is compassionate, that thinks about the people, that thinks about the country, that believes in welfare, that believes in the comfort and the quality of life of the people. And that's all the people of Ghana need. And the NDC government offers that. In fact, history is replete with how we have conducted ourselves when in government and how we have led welfare of the people lead our policies. And we believe that when we are able to push very strongly for the people to appreciate our sensitivity and our compassion to their plight, Ghana will become a better place. As we have said, we all want a certain Ghana. We want a Ghana that will be proud of, but that Ghana will not be achieved if we don't reset Ghana. And that is why we are embarking on Resetting Ghana agenda for this year, to reset Ghana to its original pride, where you feel proud to be a Ghanaian across every sector of society.
Thank you so much, Dr. Peter Otokunor, former Deputy Secretary General, NDC Ghana. Thank you for watching to our viewers all around the world. Until we meet again on the New Frontier Africa, my name is Abdulrasheed Abubakar. Have a wonderful day. Bye.